What's going on, guys? This is Otis here, and today this video and commentary is about just tips and tricks on when you're attacking in Rush, because I usually don't do Rush videos just because I don't really like the game mode, and a lot of the times, half the maps are just horrible for it, and half the maps are really good for it. And Bazaar, Metro, and Canals are the only maps that I really like it on. I'm starting to like it on Firestorm. But I think the tip that I would have to say for Rush is you just have to actually just rush the objectives all the time and just try to set up the positions when you plant it and stuff. And so this map's on Bazaar, and so I always go and try to plant A first. And typically, if you can spawn right away, right when you get into the room, rush to A, you'll typically be the very first one there. And what I usually do is I'll plant it, and then I go and I sit down and I set my bipod up with whatever assault rifle I'm using, because I use the bipod now instead of the foregrip, just because overall, I mean, yeah, the foregrip does reduce the recoil from side to side, but it also increases the bloom of your bullets, like they're not as accurate. And so I just think for me in my playstyle, it's a lot better to just lay down and set up the bipod when I need to when I'm defending objectives like that. And another thing too, we got pretty lucky because half of our team ended up going to A, the other half ended up going to B. And so what they were able to do is they were able to pretty much kill the people that were in the B room real quickly and plant that one right after that one. And so we were able to just pretty much roll into the first MCOM station. And then we were being a little bit timid here, at least I was, before we started moving up. And I believe I planted all but 2 or 3 VM comps in this whole entire game, so I ended up just rushing forward, and I do end up dying, and I got a pretty good score. And this is one of my last games actually using the SCAR also too, just because I'm gonna hit my 500 kills in my next game. I only need like 10 more to get my 500 kills, and once I get 500 kills with the gun, I go and I switch it to my next weapon, my next gun of the month, or whatever you want to call it. And I do that for a few reasons too, just because I don't want to get bored with a gun when I'm using it for too long. I think there's only like one gun that I have over like 600 kills with, and I think I have about 800 kills with the M240, and I just got really bored of it. And so I just like changed it up with guns and stuff, and I've got 8 now that have the 500 kills on it, which is pretty nice. I don't know if I get in the tank. I don't remember if I get in the tank or not. But the tank you need, well, I wouldn't say you need, but I would definitely use it a lot more than a lot of people don't use it, because on this map, it's in the very deep part of your spawn. And so what happens is a lot of the times is people actually go and they end up forgetting about the tank, which it's not a good thing to forget about it, because you at least want that armored up there. It takes a few hits and stuff with your rockets or javelins or whatever else you want to use. And when you're going to spawn, I would always definitely look in the back of your spawn on the whole entire map, just to see if the tank's there, because if the tank's there, it's going to show you where it is in the map. And typically what I would like to do on this second set of MCOMs here is always I would try to get the very first MCOM first, maybe a few times just rushing up forward. And then if I'm not able to get it, then I always just do I always just try to stay in the borders of the whole entire map and just go around the whole entire outside of it, because what ends up happening is a lot of people aren't really looking for you. You always want to try to spawn your teammates. Alright, and I believe we go to the very outside of, we go around to the main alleyway on Conquest. And, this is definitely underutilized on these second MCOM stations, because, very, very few people actually know about it, and a lot of people just don't use it. And so pretty much you go down this hallway, you have your 2 options, where you can either split to your left hallway, that's right there, or you can just go straight forward and plant on that first MCOM right here, which we end up doing. Or you could even run, all the way forward to that deeper MCOM station. But what I like doing is planting it right there, going into this doorway, laying down for the bipod right where the right at the boundary, pretty much, because you saw right there where it flashed off. And what can happen here, like what just happened to me, is they do spawn a little bit behind you, so they can come through that doorway right there, and they can kill you. It's kind of a gamble. What I've also done too is I've laid just past that doorway right there on the ground, and I've set up the bipod toward the MCOM to where they at least don't really know where you are. And I would always recommend silencer, especially on the smaller maps, just because if you're hiding down trying to protect that MCOM station, it's going to be a little bit hard for them to find where you are. You don't show up on the mini map unless you're spotted. And you don't get any damage reduction anymore with the silencer, because after the last patch, there's no damage reduction when you use the silencer, which is very, very nice and very helpful. And it's just something that I would highly recommend. Okay, and I'm going to talk about 2 different types of squads that you want to, maybe set up. I would always recommend, at least in Rush, I'd have 2 medics at least, and then maybe 2 engineer guys, depending on what type, if there's vehicles and stuff, or maybe even 2 support guys, so they can keep throwing ammo down. Or what's also good about a support guy is I don't know if it happens here, maybe, where a support guy can sit up behind you, look at the MCOM station, and then when you're planting, they'll be able to to put down the heavy fire of that support to protect you while you're planting that MCOM. And then also, once it's planted, they're also able to go and shoot people who are trying to shoot you there also, which is a good and very helpful tactic for there at least. My next rush tip, and even goes for any other type of map too when you're on the infantry ground base. So when I died previously, I still had one teammate that was near the MCOM station, so what I was able to do, I was able to spawn on him. And pretty much what you want to do, if you're the last squad mate alive, you always want to look and see whether your squad mates are alive or if they're dead. And if you're pretty much the only one left, or maybe if there's like one other guy left and you're the closest one up to the MCOMs or whatever objective you are, you maybe just want to lay down in a corner for 5 or 6 seconds, grenade fail, just because you want your whole squad spawning on you, because it's better to have a 4-on-2 situation instead of maybe a 1-on-2 situation. And then that's another good thing too, because if your whole squad ends up dying, you guys are gonna have to spawn from the actual spawn deployment area and then hightail it all the way over to your objective, and that's a long time. That's going to put you guys out of commission from fighting and stuff. And so this is just another good kind of spot where I just set up the bipod, and I believe I killed one guy at the very end. These guys were getting to the MCOMs very, very late once you were actually planting them and stuff, which is good. I don't remember what level they were. I think half of them were just noobs, the other half were actually experienced guys. But we were just able to hold it down, and which was pretty nice. And after you're done with these second set of MCOM stations, which is pretty, I think you're about halfway through now, because then you have your next ones coming up. There's that one on that left side of the bridge, and there's one towards the right side where you have that long hallway tunnel that's blocked off earlier. And typically what I like doing is, I didn't do it here, I don't think, but what I like to do is get into the tank, going around to the left side of the bridge, and then going up on that first MCOM station and on that left side, which I believe is A, it might be B, I'm not sure, but that far left one. And pretty much what you want to do is you want to have your teammates spawn on you in the tank. And then what you're able to do is, one person can jump out, or you can jump out, and you're able to go plant the MCOM station. Then you have the tank there that it's at least drawing other people's fire on. And so if it's drawing people's fire on, they're not able to run to that MCOM station as quickly and either kill anybody around it and defuse it too, which is also very helpful for your team and everyone else around you. And even if they don't fire and try to kill the tank, that's a big cannon that you have there protecting the MCOM station, which is very helpful once you get it planted, because there's only 2 areas where they can come from to that MCOM station, which is right down that little road they have there, and then maybe even far right from the other MCOM station where they're able to either go on the bridge or jump up on the little barricade that's on the road where it starts to get elevated. So there's very, very little areas where they can come and go and attack on that place. And the other MCOM station, there's probably about 2 places that I like setting up when you're when you're defending A, right there, the right one. And pretty much what I like doing is either getting on the bridge, laying down towards the steps, which is a very good idea for 2 reasons. Typically, the only reason why you're going to be able to get seen there is if someone's towards the enemy spawn area, like a sniper or something, they'll usually only see you. And if you have a silencer on, you're going to be a little bit of your flash suppressed a little bit. They'll still be able to see your bullets and stuff if you're shooting. But it'll give you enough time typically where if someone's not even looking at you and they're just trying to rush into the MCOM to defuse it, you're able to either get a few rounds off on them and kill them, or even maybe even toss a grenade in there also. And there's a bipod deploy fail there, but that's all right. And we got past these ones I think right away. I don't think they defused the other one, which right here I'm just defending that one spot because this is the main road pathway right there where they're able to go and rush down on that left MCOM station. And it's pretty easy to defend it, especially if you have the other one planted, because what you want to do is maybe have one planted, and then even sometimes what I'll do, or even what other people do, is we'll use one MCOM as a decoy. Whichever one's the easier to destroy, you'll go plant that one, and then everyone will run over to the hard one. That's the one that's really hard to plant, because what happens is you'll have most of your team gravitating towards that first MCOM station that's planted, and that will leave less people obviously at that next MCOM station, which is very, very helpful. And right here is at the top of the steps right here, where you could definitely tell you'd be able to set up the bipod like I just did right now and shoot anyone at the MCOM stations like I was doing right there. I don't end up killing him, I don't think, but you know, I just get some hit markers on him. That's just like a good example of where to set the bipod up at that MCOM station. At least, you know, throw some rounds down on range and keep it nice and protected. And I don't know how this just always annoys me and just frustrates the shit out of me when people end up stealing your own tanks or your vehicles, but especially like your tanks. Like, there's no reason whoever was in that tank for them to jump out of it, even if it was on fire. You jump out of a tank when there's like 1 or 2% health left. It's just like so frustrating, because they could have, if they had a better team, or at least not a better team, but a more of a coordinated team, they could have easily have just held down those last MCOM station with that tank, and we wouldn't have been able to get close to them at all. Oh, excuse me, how is descending on right there. I was going to try to go and try to kill him with my torch, and once I got there, someone else ended up finishing the job off, so that was kind of unfortunate. And then I tried to kill the guy with the torch, which was stupid. It's just me getting a little bit bored towards the end of the match, trying to do different things, and he ends up, you know, turning the corner and killing me. And luckily there was a medic to revive me there, because that just would have been very, very embarrassing if the guy would have been able to kill me and I would have been able to be revived there. And typically what I like doing in these last MCOM stations, I like rushing towards that far left one right here, which is the closest to their spawn. And that's just because that one can be very, very hard to get it planted. The one on the right, at least it's protected kind of by the bridge, and so it's a little bit easier to run to. I like the little nice double kill right there. Another knife too. Oh no, I got knife jacked, and then expecting to go through the knife animation, I just stopped, of course, and then the guy had like the easiest shot on me ever, which was unfortunate. But those two guys ended up getting first the MCOM there, destroying it, and then we just had this very last MCOM to try to get and destroy, which they actually did a very, very good job towards the end of actually setting it up. Actually, it was a little bit hard for us to try to get over there and destroy it, but we do end up finally making our way through everyone. One thing, if you're rushing MCOM stations, I would always throw a grenade at the MCOM station, or at least if you know there's some guys around, just chuck grenades where you think guys are around. And that's for a multitude of reasons. Number one, if a guy's near a grenade, he's gonna have to run away from the grenade, and so you're gonna clear the area of him. And if he doesn't run away, he's pretty much gonna die from the grenade. And if he doesn't die from the grenade, you're gonna get a hit marker, and you'll know exactly where he is from wherever you threw your grenade at. Another reason too, sometimes there's C4 or claymores at the MCOM stations. So what you're gonna want to do is, after you throw that grenade, it'll destroy those explosives there, and so you'll know it's safe to just rush in there and charge. Because I don't know how many times in rush mode, at least, where you'll run up to an MCOM station and there'll be like 20 claymores around, and you go, oh, after you get killed by one, you get frustrated and you say, oh well, I should have thrown a grenade there. That was kind of stupid of me just to rush in blindly there. But typically, I'm just not thinking about like my kills, deaths, or anything like that on the MCOMs. I really wanted to plant the last one, so I threw my suicide grenade. And unfortunately, I was reloading there, so the guy at the top of the bridge already knew, or he didn't know, but he was able to just destroy me right there. And I think we had it planted. No, we didn't have it planted yet. We're about to get it planted. But that's also, if you're defending right there too, that's a very good spot to just set up real quickly, maybe with a bipod, a sniper rifle, because down that main road, you're going to have a lot of people just coming down, and you're going to get a lot of kills there too. There was, I think, 2 or 3 guys in this back alley right here, which they were holding it down pretty well for a good amount of time, but we were able to finally clear them out, and then this asshole ended up planting it, which was unfortunate. And you know, it's just how it is sometimes. You always try to get the last MCOM station. That's one good thing about the bipod, is you're able to set it on rails and stuff, and there's basically almost no recoil, and it just goes wherever. And I thought I heard a guy, so I started shooting at the MCOM station, which is kind of embarrassing. But I was just getting my last defensive position before the MCOM actually explodes here, which is pretty fun to do. And we ended up having, a pretty quick, I would say, not too quick, 15 minutes unedited for the Rush game, but it was overall a pretty good Rush game, at least for me, because I usually never play Rush, and when I do play Rush, I just want to get it over so quickly. I go and just start rushing the MCOM stations. But hopefully, you guys ended up liking this commentary, and thanks for watching, guys.